The primary goal, or the principal goal of THX has always been, in the cinema side, to translate what the content creators, whether it's filmmakers, whether it's producers, sound mixers, have created on the mix stage and move that into cinemas. It's always been our reason for being. When working on the Return of the Jedi in '82 for the '83 release, George Lucas and all the other folks who were working on the movie with him, they were in the mix stage and they previewed the movie and then went out into local cinema in San Francisco. What they found was that there were portions of the soundtrack that they could not hear. They thought at first they had missed something, that it didn't get laid down on the audio track, that there was something missing. The auditoriums were not very well built, and it was really designs that are mostly from the 50s in terms of construction techniques. And also equipment, gear that was in there. Not so much the film projectors, but certainly the audio gear was from that era.
The cinema experience was kind of something where there's a new format coming out every once in a while. You have a CinemaScope and this surround technology, and a bunch of people just try to put things together to sell their movies. And so there's not a lot of consolidated technology in one place to make the average moviegoer have the same experience as the director intended.
Everything in that auditorium, in the mix room, was well controlled and well defined. Going into a commercial cinema, those factors and those sets of controls weren't in place.
So what THX did was we put together these standards and specifications, so when you go to one mix room and you make a movie there, it should sound exactly the same in the cinema with the same standards and specifications. There are 4 basic pillars of THX certification. One, we're looking at the auditorium. We're looking at the construction of the auditorium, the walls, the isolation from one auditorium to another, because you don't want to hear the movie next door. We're looking at the interior acoustics.
A cinema owner will construct a baffle wall that goes behind the screen, and it provides an acoustical boundary for the screen channel systems, such that there's a nice even frequency response coming from the screen channels.
We have a background noise requirement, and that means that you can't hear the air conditioning, you can't hear the projector, all you hear is the movie inside.
Movies are told typically through the dialogue, the story of the movie. We want to make sure that everybody can hear it and that nothing is lost. We also want to make sure that a full dynamic range of the audio soundtrack can be heard, such that the softest sounds, the softest whisper perhaps, and also the dynamicness of a large explosion.
The second pillar is equipment, is the speakers that are in the room, the amplifiers, the projectors, everything that's in there we evaluate. For instance, the loudspeakers. We're looking at the performance, like the frequency response, the power response, the output capability. We want to know what the speaker can actually do.
We also take the information that we get from that testing cycle and use it in our design of the auditorium itself, when we're doing the location of the speakers in the auditorium as well as the quantity and what is the appropriateness of the speaker layout.
So the third pillar is configuration. We're looking at where all this equipment goes inside the cinema. It's all actually related to the mix room. We want to make sure that the audience is sitting in the same location that the mixer is sitting in when he mixes that movie in his mix room. And the fourth pillar is calibration.
After a cinema owner has followed all of our design criteria, we make sure that our requirements and our standards have been met by going in and testing and calibrating the audio system and the picture system. So we make sure that everything conforms to both THX standards as well as industry standards throughout.
Over the years, THX has applied its standards to some of the world's premier cinemas, the ArcLight, the Chinese in Hollywood, the Empire in Leicester Square, as well as prominent studios, mixed rooms and screening rooms, Lucasfilm, Pixar, Park Road Post, Lightstorm Entertainment.
Earlier I mentioned that theaters from the 80s were not in all that great a shape. When you compare them to today's cinemas in general, the average bar has been raised significantly. We like to think that THX has had a significant impact on that.
THX Certified Cinema is unique because we provide the assurance to the moviegoer that things are just as they're supposed to be. Things sound like they're supposed to, things look like they're supposed to. It's just a great experience every single time.
Cinema owners can use their THX Certified Cinemas to let the customers know that they have taken great care and spent a lot of time and effort in getting their auditoriums into optimum conditions such that they will be able to see and experience the movie the way the filmmaker intended.
When you see the THX logo up on the screen, that's a guarantee of a quality experience.